Hi everyone, how's it going? James here with you for a quick vinyl finds video. Just going to queue up a record. I'll show you the label first, I'll show you the sleeve first, talk about it in one sec. Show you that. I can't see what's upside down and what isn't. I'll just go and put it on. Okay, so this is Unearthed, Senegal pop star musician who came to prominence back in the 1980s. He did some work with Peter Gabriel. I think he was involved with WOMAD and so on. Quite a political figure as well. He pioneered a kind of African Senegalese pop music. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's Mbalax. I'll put it as a subtitle. Mbalax. Sure, he doesn't need much introduction from me, but this is one of 4 really nice records which I picked up a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to tell you the story of how I came by them. Just going to turn the music down a little bit. Just give you a bit of background to Youssou N'Dour, a Senegalese singer-songwriter, composer, occasional actor, businessman and politician. In 2004, Rolling Stone magazine described him as perhaps the most famous singer alive. He was the subject of the award-winning films Return to Gorée and Youssou N'Dour, I Bring What I Love. He was born in Dakar to a Wolof mother and a Serer father. Started performing at the age of 12. Oh, that's right, he had his own band called the Étoile de Dakar. His early work with the group was in the Latin style. It was popular all over Africa during that time. And in the 80s, he developed a unique sound with his ultimate group, Super Étoile de Dakar, etc., etc., etc. So he's worked with all kinds of people, from Paul Simon, Bruce Springsteen, Tracy Chapman, so on and so forth. And this is the album Immigré, which I think was quite a big album at the time. Anyway, so after that long preamble, where did I find this record? Well, there's a shop in my hometown, and they're called Atticus Books. They're a sort of vintage shop, but really what they are really is a junk shop, you know. One of these kind of strange shops where they don't really know what they're selling, you know. I mean, the guy who works there, from speaking to him, I don't know about the book side. I mean, they sell books and you know, vintage stuff, not clothes, but they sell, I don't know, just tat really, you know, little figures and bits of merchandise, old Rupert the Bear annuals and so on. And they've got this box of records, this kind of sagging old cardboard box, and most of the records are just beaten up to hell, in really bad condition, you know, great big scratches, the covers are all beaten up. And it's one of these places where he's not a vinyl seller, so he doesn't understand about condition, or if he does understand about it, he doesn't care. All the records are priced up. I think he said it's £2 for a single record and £4 for a double album, but it's completely, it's not connected to the condition. So you have albums in there which are beaten up to hell, you know, single albums beaten up to hell for £2. You've got albums which are in reasonable condition for £4. You know, it's just completely random. So you sort of dig through, and this is one of the ones I pulled out, and it was in absolutely immaculate condition. It's not an album that you can get for that price normally. So it's a kind of double-edged sword, you know. It's frustrating when you encounter people who are just banging random prices on their records and selling stuff, you know, which say, you know, £4 for a double album which is beaten to hell. I'm not gonna spend that money. But by the same token, you'll get things like this, which you can't get. I mean, I checked on Discogs, and you can't get this for much under kind of £10 in the condition that it's in. So I said to the guy, I said, you know, have you got any awareness of pricing and condition and everything? I said, because one of the records I'm going to show you now, I said to him, the condition is not good enough for that price. I'm not going to give you £2 for it. I said, I'll give you £1 for it. And he said, yeah, okay. And, you know, ironically, it's an album which I would have spent a lot more on. And in fact, I told him that. It's this. Marked up at £2, I said to him, the condition's not great. The condition was actually not too bad. It's just that it was very, very dusty. But I said, I'm not going to pay you £2 for that. Because of the condition, I'll pay you £1 for it. And he said, okay. And he took the money, and I kind of went home with this. I mean, this is a really nice thing to find in a box of junk. This is Stan Getz' Joao Gilberto, excuse my pronunciation, and Antonio Carlos Jobim. And this is the famous jazz album, Getz Gilberto, Verve. Let me just give you a bit of background to this, because I learned some stuff about it whilst I was researching. It was the first jazz album to win the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. It also won Best Jazz Instrumental Album, Individual or Group, and for Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical. And the album single, The Girl from Ipanema, is one of the most recorded songs of all time and won the Record of the Year. Essentially, it's a kind of jazz bossa nova album. Stan Getz, the American saxophonist, was famous for having this very kind of light, lyrical style, and he was very sympathetic to the bossa nova movement, which was characterised by very relaxed, stylish music, kind of lightness of tone. So you've got Stan Getz on saxophone. Gilberto is a guitarist and a songwriter as well, and I think he's on vocals. And then you've also got the famous Brazilian pianist Antonio Carlos Jobim as well. Absolutely lovely record. I'll do you a quick needle drop on it.
The gal from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, he smiles, but she doesn't see.
So yeah, I mean, to get that for £1, just crazy, It's just like I said, it's that kind of double-edged sword where you're dealing with people who are not proper vinyl sellers. They don't really understand vinyl as a commodity. They kind of see it as another branch of the junk, or the junk end of vintage stuff, So they see it as, he did actually confess to me. He said, most people who buy records from me just buy them to hang on their wall or to, whatever. I think he was quite taken aback, because I was a bit like a dog with a bone. I was not going to let go of this kind of argument. I was pulling things out of his box, and saying, look, you should be charging much more for this one, but that one is not worth 50p because of the condition it's in. So, get a grip. It was an interesting conversation. Anyway, so this record and this one went right at the very back of this box, so I had to go through a right load of old trash to get to them. But what a fantastic pair of finds. And then there were a couple of other things. There was this one. This is the Doobie Brothers, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. This is, I think, a sort of early-ish one of theirs. I love the cover. What a rock and roll cover that is. Bit of cover damage, but I think I did give him the £2 for that one. And then finally, this is a really good fun purchase. It's got a sticker on there, $1.99. That's nothing to do with his pricing. This is the Equals, who I kind of knew about them. It's the band which Eddie Grant started out in. A British pop, R&B and rock group formed in North London in 1965. They're mainly remembered for their million-selling chart topper, Baby Come Back. Yeah, the group began playing in the 1960s. A string of releases followed all the way up to 1970, all of which charted in the UK. The influence of the band, the music has continued to be influential. In 1980, The Clash recorded a cover version of the Equals song, Police on My Back. This is a weird record. It's kind of, parts of it remind me of classic British beat. There's one or two songs that kind of oddly remind me of The Move from the 60s.
Mr. McIntyre's got his old house up for sale. I heard the local council's gonna put a new one there.
It's a little bit bubblegum meets R&B meets a bit of pop with a kind of soul, funky kind of feel.
My girl, I need slip a tree, slip a tree, slip a tree. Brand new shoes for you.
good fun. I bought it with no particular expectation, but I actually really enjoyed it, and it's on the classic Music for Pleasure label, which I'm going to do a special video on at some point, because I think I've got quite a few records in my collection now on that label. I thought it'd be quite good fun to pull them out. Anyway, so that one was £1, £2. I think I did give him £2 for that one, and that one for £1. So yeah, junk shops, vintage shops, whatever, you know, they can be good places to visit. You just have to be a bit patient as you go through these boxes full of scratched up rubbish. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back soon for more videos, so in the meantime, have a great weekend and a great week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.